All around the world, people have been captivated by the extraordinary rescue of the 33 miners in Chile. It was back on the 5th of August that the mine collapsed. It was 17 days before they had any contact with the outside world. Then 69 days later, they were each slowly brought to the surface in a rescue capsule. What could so easily have been a tragedy was turned into a triumph. Chile's President, Sebastián Pinera, has been seen at the mine many times throughout the rescue. He was there to greet almost every miner as each emerged. Well, President Pinera is my guest today on this special edition of Hard Talk. He's here in the heart of the City of London on the start of a tour of Europe and hoping to capitalise on the success of the operation. He said, when people think of Chile, they should not think of the military dictator General Pinochet. Instead, they should think of what Chileans can do when they work together. President Pinera, welcome to Hard Talk.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for this opportunity.
Now, it was a fabulous moment last week when the miners were rescued, but a moment which you really must not have expected to see.
That's true. It was such an emotional moment because the whole country and maybe the whole world was so much committed with this search and rescue effort. I remember when it started on August the 5th. Immediately we knew that it was a very serious accident. They were caught half a mile down the mountain. It was a very difficult rescue effort. But from the very first moment, when I realized that the private company that owns the mine had no capability to undertake the search and rescue effort, I made a decision to commit our government 100% with the search and rescue effort. And I said, we will look for the miners as if they were our son. We will use all the technologies and all the resources available. And we did it.
Your advisors told you that what, there was less than 2% chance of finding them?
Yes. Especially in the first 17 days. We didn't know where they were. We didn't know whether they were alive or dead. But we never lost our faith and our conviction. And we kept searching and searching.
Tell us about the day that they were found, because it was an unusual day for you anyway, wasn't it?
It was a very unusual day because that same day my father-in-law passed away and I spent with him the whole night. And the last words were, don't give up, keep searching, they are alive. So when I met with my wife, she told me, go to the mine because something will happen today. We didn't know. And I went to the mine and had been there many times before. This was my 5th visit to the mine. That was on that Sunday, August the 22nd. And when I got there, we got the message, which was such an emotional moment, that they were alive in the shelter, all the 33.
Had the note come up from the underground before you arrived, or was it literally when you were there?
It was 10 minutes before. They attached the note to the drill. And when the drill came out, somebody realized that there was this note, which I have it with me.
You carry it around with you?
I kept it with me since then.
And that, you do show us. This is the note. This is the note or the copy of the note?
Really, it's a copy of the note. The original one is at my desk, at La Moneda, which is like your Downing Street number 10. And it says, we are well in the shelter, the 33. All the information that we needed. From that moment, which was an explosion of joy and happiness, people were crying all over the country because it was so emotional. I think, Sarah, that most of the international news are bad news, like September 11th, earthquakes, or things like that. This was a story that started as a tragedy and ended as a real blessing.
But you have, so they're alive, which is extraordinary, and it must have felt amazing. But then you have the job of getting them out from 700 meters down. And how do you face something like that?
Well, we had planned in advance how to rescue them. because I had an inner, I was so much convinced. I had a kind of inner voice that told me all the time they're alive. And every time I went to the mine, the families, their wives, their father and mothers, they told me, they are alive, don't give up.
But you must have had doubts, because it's in a sense, we sit here now knowing what happened. But at that stage, after so long, you must have had doubts.
Maybe, but the faith was stronger than the doubts. And we started to plan in advance how to rescue them. I remember when I joined with our Secretary of State of Energy, and he said, we have 3 technologies to rescue them. Which one should we use? All of 3. Because the machine can fail, but we cannot fail. That was our attitude from the very first moment, to do everything that was possible from a human point of view. And at the same time, I'm a believer. I'm a God believer. We pray. And I'm very grateful because our prayers were heard.
Now, you say you set out these 3 things, and there were warnings that it was going to take 4 months. In the end, it was 69 days, and it was on that 69th day, and you were at the head of the mine, and we have some pictures of the first miners appearing, Florencio Avalos, then Mario Sepulveda, and then Juan Illanes. Tell us what it was like for you when they first came up.
You know, with my wife, we went to the mine many times, and we shared with their families. So for us, it wasn't just 33 miners. We knew their wives, their parents. So when the first one, Florencio Avalos, came out, I really couldn't resist not to express my emotions. Because it was something we had been working so hard, with so much hope, that when we realized that we were about to rescue them alive, it was such an emotional moment. I will never, never forget it. And
then Mario Sepulveda comes up with all these rocks from the bottom.
Mario came with all these rocks, and I'm bringing one rock to Prime Minister David Cameron, and another rock from the mine to Queen Elizabeth II.
Did you, I mean, it was extraordinary, because we then saw over the next 24 hours it run like clockwork. Did you think of it, you talk about your prayers being answered, did you think of it as a miracle?